it travels
My
really.
house is 1,400 square feet, which
Pretty small.
it's small. It's not like
But that's
tiny, but I already feel like I kind of want something bigger. And I don't have a garage, so it's just like all of my gear, biking and skiing gear. It's like I kind of want a garage for that
Yeah.
more than to put my car
in this climate, especially. You really need a
Yeah.
place to put your car. We don't have a garage right now.
Oh man.
Well, we have a garage, but it's full of windows and all these things
Yeah.
Joe's been collecting for our house.
I lived without a garage for a while, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want one. And then a lot of my stuff ends up in the studio because just for storage, like what you're saying, like gardening stuff, like all the hoses get
Yeah.
stored in the
Where does
studio.
that stuff go, you know?
Yep, I was out there yesterday.
Yeah. You really need, it's sort of a necessity. It's not a luxury
Yeah.
when you live in the mountains. It's no country like you all do.
Don't let me forget to get that gallery, that little, like, I can make you a copy if you want.
Oh,
But,
am
you know,
I
it's
supposed to
got
sign
a,
it and give it back? Okay, I never realized. Wait, yeah.
you know, I'm not sure if our copier actually works, but it might. If you want a copy, do you know what I mean? Or we can just write up another one or
It's
something.
in that
I want to, I just gotta obviously keep track of what we owe you for it, what you sell and everything.
Made a big pile.
Okay, don't let me leave without getting checks out of the desk drawer too, according to Amy here. I'm just saying it out loud, so there's two things I need to remember. Okay. Fish fillet right now.
I don't throw too much stuff on a bat. So these smaller bowls, I'll throw them right on the wheel too. Plates I'll make on a bat, and bigger bowls. Those wider, more like solid bowls, I'll throw those on a bat. Mostly because when I pick them up off the wheel, I don't want to warp them. And it seems like these smaller ones, I can move them around without them warping. Plate has that memory, so if you warp it when you take it off the wheel, it's going to remember that. So this is going to be the little berry bowl with the cutouts.
Okay.
So I just throw the basic form, and then once it's trimmable, I'll trim it first, and then I'll make the cutouts. So just past all they're hard.
Again, you're using how much clay?
This was 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
Do you guys all use these mud tool ribs? They're pretty nice.
Which ones?
We've got
The
some.
mud tools. They're like
Oh, look at
color.
that.
I just bought a whole bunch of new ones. I just bought at Anderson Ranch last month and bought a bunch of the bigger ones. Like this is a good plate one, and this is good for bigger bowls. A little too big for what I'm making right now. And they're color coordinated to how stiff they are. So like the red one, really soft. It's good for finishing pots. And then the green and the blue are, I think, the stiffest. They're good for ribbing and especially bowls and plates. I found.
You said it's called mud tools?
Or, yeah.
Mud. Like
Yep.
mud. Okay.
It's a brand name.
Right.
We have a couple of them here, the green ones.
Yeah,
and
I've
the
seen 'em.
red salt one.
That's a pretty ominous large thing there.
This one? This
Boomerang.
Yeah, it's great though for bigger bowls. Not
Yeah.
quite for this one, but it's nice because the different curves. So you can you can use it this way if you have like a steeper wall, or you can use it this direction if it's a more open bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, steep ones like what Patty makes, those taller.
They have the whole line of those at Capital Ceramics, so when Michelle goes there, you can put in requests.
Where's that at down in Salt Lake?
Yeah, Michelle goes to Salt Lake about every other week right now.
There's also a whole, the Center for the Arts in Jackson carries a lot of tools.
Do they sell them?
Yeah, there's like a case, a lock case.
Oh, I
you
got
can
you.
talk to someone about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right there.
That's a good idea.
I was just telling you yesterday, I like the yellow one, see?
I'm all about the green one.
I feel like these new green ones, I don't know. These seem stiffer. I don't know if they're making them different now. These are pretty stiff.
Looks like a different green almost.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've had this one for a while. A little different.
She has a little cork on her chamois. Like the
Get some
fish
big
lure
ones
thing
in
that
there.
you
Yeah.
have.
Keeps it from out of the reclaim
Yeah.
bucket.
I was gonna say we get some bigger ones so they don't all end up in the reclaim.
Yeah. Should make some bigger bowls. I just feel like I'm not gonna have time to finish everything. I'll make one of these, and I'll make one of those back. So this is gonna be that little batter bowl, and usually I'll make. But I guess it's with most pots I'll usually make like 4 or 5. Like pitchers and things, I'll probably make 4 to 6 of them, like 3 of each style, 2 or 3 of each. With these batter bowls, I would probably make like 6 of them at a time, and might have waited a little too long to do this spout. But usually by the time I get to the end, the first one's ready to get a spout on it. It's good to. I don't like to do it right on the wheel, but let it set up maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. So by the time I throw the last one, the first one's ready to put a spout on. It's
You're
just
stretching that clay out.
yeah, if the clay is a little drier than I would like. If I did this sooner, it just makes the process much quicker. When it's this dry, you're gonna put a lot more pressure, but be a little more delicate too at the same time. So the spouts that I like, I do in 2 steps. I do that first step where I pull the clay up a little bit, and then do the step where I lay it down. So a lot of potters skip that first part and just do this. So just like on a pitcher, I was taught to make spouts. I mean, everybody has their like theory of how to make it pour well. I was taught, like, this is one place that you want the clay to be somewhat sharp. Like, you don't want, especially a cup, you don't want a sharp rim that you're gonna put to your mouth, but you want this edge to cut the liquid, so you want it to be somewhat sharp there. And then also, I was taught, and I'm not sure if this is true, but right at the very edge, you want it to be horizontal, because then when you pick it back up, it cuts the liquid.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if that's how accurate that is, but I've kind of just been in the habit of doing that now.
Does it work?
I think so.
Well then.
I mean,
You don't ever try to pour them with
I think, well, I mean, I think pouring with this is so much different than pouring with a pitcher. Like, I have one of these in the kitchen that I make pancakes with a lot, but I mean, they pour so much differently than pouring water or tea or something.
So thick,
Yeah. So I think they, I don't know.
So you
Should
pour
pay more
right
attention.
onto the grill with it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, scrambled eggs or pancakes, I mix it in there and then pour it right into
Yeah. that's
Did you
all.
wet fingers on both hands when you did that?
I think so. Definitely my right hand because I'm doing this. I don't know that this hand's just kind of supporting it, so you don't have to. And so usually I would get all the spouts on there and then come back a little while later and do this step. But I think the clay is stiffened up enough to do this without messing up too much. So I'm just gonna like softly triangulate this pot. So I'm gonna push out 3 spots. And these kind of pots, these little different types of bowls, sort of like berry bowls or batter bowls, I'll make out of that Ben's clay that I talked about a little bit last night. It's like 50% Halmar, so it's a pain to work with, but I'm not attaching anything with these pots, so I can get away with using it. And it looks really beautiful wood fired. It flashes really nice. But like this kind of stuff, I would never use that clay. It would drive me crazy. So I'm kind of softly triangulating the rim, kind of the opposite of where I pushed out.
So you were talking last night about how you like to fire in reduction, and you made it sound like you kind of were in reduction the whole time,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. I mean, once
stay
I'm
there.
at body reduction, yeah.
What does that mean to find a reduction all the time?
Well, in a wood kiln, it does kind of fluctuate, but it's the atmosphere in the kiln where you have more fuel to oxygen ratio. But when you fire with wood, even before body reduction, like it does fluctuate back and forth because it's just the nature of how you're adding fuel, and so there's always like a amount of time where it's reducing because you have more fuel to oxygen, and then it's just kind of like controlling that, like timing wise, where before body reduction you want to make sure everything clears and you're definitely back into like a oxidized cycle before you do your next stroke, because you don't want to reduce kiln too early. And then once you want to stay in reduction, it's probably a matter of like heavy to light reduction within this like stoking cycle. Does that make sense? And so we were talking about